to the Kid and Friends podcast. Today's guest is Thich Dieu Thien, spiritual teacher and founder of the Universal Door Meditation Center. Since awakening in 2001, Thich has dedicated life to helping people awaken their inner clarity, peace, and purpose. With roots in Buddhism and a mission grounded in compassion, Thich brings practical wisdom for navigating life's challenges, from managing stress to discovering who we really are beneath all the noise. Hello and welcome to the show. I want to give you a little bit of history about me before we start talking.
Okay.
So I was raised as a Catholic, and I hated the process of being told what I was to believe and what not to believe, because it was imposed on me, I guess, by my parents or whoever. And as I got older, I kind of got away from religion, and I hit a point in my life where I had stopped believing there was anything out there. Like I thought we lived this life and then we die and then that's it. And then somewhere along the line in the last probably 5 years, my eyes opened up and I saw that there was more to the universe and more to things that are out there that I was unaware of. And I've hit a point where I used to believe that I was a body with a soul that was attached to me, and the soul goes away. And now I'm of the belief that the soul is just inhabiting the body for a temporary time. And so my belief has changed. And I had another podcast for about 15 years. And this is going to be a little long-winded, so I apologize. I had another podcast for about 15 years with two other gentlemen, and I switched off to my own last year with no goal of having any spiritual conversations or having anything along those kind of lines. And it quickly turned into a spiritual type podcast where, about personal growth and growing and changing. And I've met a lot of wonderful people. And when I saw you pop up on the one thing I was on, I was super excited because where I live in Pennsylvania, I go to New Jersey all the time, and there's a Buddhist temple. And for whatever reason, for years and years and years, I've been driving past it, and everything has told me just to pull in, make the turn, and I never have. So when I saw you pop up, I was super excited, and I was hoping that I could gather a little bit of information from you and continue on my path of learning a little spirituality. So my question for you that I would like to start with, and this is probably the most important one for me, is what is being awakened?
Wow. Have you ever become awakened in your life?
I think I've had moments of it, but I don't think it's something that sticks with me all the time. Does that make sense? Like
Can you
I
share
touch it
that
once in a
moment?
while.
Can you share that moment, please?
So there are times where I feel very connected to the universe. I feel insignificant, and I feel like there's so much more out there. And then I'll be in that zone for days or weeks at a time, and then suddenly life becomes busy again, and I become very distracted by either social media, the electronics I have in my hand, by my family. I have 4 children, and I'm busy. I have a full-time day job. I own a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, a martial arts school where I teach people to fight, and I teach before and after classes. And then I do podcasts at night. So I have moments of where I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit enlightened, and then it goes away. And I don't mean it's gone. It's just not on my radar, where I'm not feeling it. And then it'll come back, but it's not something that's with me every day.
Wow. Do you know why?
I'm guessing because my intentions are not purposeful in trying to stay in that zone. I'm touching upon it, but I'm not fully aware of when I am, and when I do touch it, I do realize it, but it's fleeting. It's like watching a firefly's light go down the forest away from me, and I know there's more out there, and I want to be a better person, and I want to learn more about what it is. So when I was doing a little research on the process and the conversation today, I talk to Chat GPT all the time, which I know it's not a real person, but I use it for education, and one of the things I learned that in the process of becoming awakened is there are the Four Noble Truths. And I wanted to talk to you about those as well, but I wanted to get your definition of what awakened is and what that is. And I know there's liberation at the end of the awakening, but you have to get to that first, I guess.
Wow, wonderful experience. But today I would like to share with you more about that, right? Because
Yes, please.
when I was born in this world, I know in me, I know it's a awake world. It's
Hmm.
always
Yeah.
there, and it's I want to come back to live with that.
Right.
And also I know how humans suffering because I saw people live even they have everything,
Hmm.
money, love, fame, and whatever. But truly, they are not truly happy because they believe
No.
they are that. They are the body. They are the mind. They are
Yes.
the fame. They are everything, right? They think they
Mm.
are real, and therefore they chase for that, and
Yeah.
they get whatever they want. They suffer. They get whatever they want. They are happy, but truly, it's temporary happiness. That truly.
Yeah. I find that the things we own, the more things you own, the more they control you.
Yes, but nobody know. Nobody know that because they think the more the better. You know, living in this life,
Yes.
people say the more the better, right? Not enough because we don't get what enough. Therefore, we are not happy. And they try. They try to get another things. They think make them happy, but truly they
Yeah.
move from this circle to another circle. You see, they say, oh, the circle about when they were born until they become teenager. They think
Hmm.
they are not free to live
Yeah.
outside the family. They think when they leave the family, they will be happy. And then until they leave the family, and they do their own way, they're still not happy, right? And they
Right.
think after they graduate from high school, they will be happy. But truly, they graduate from high school, they're still not happy. And then
Yeah.
they
It just
create
starts another circle.
yeah, another circle about oh, and when they graduate from college, they will be happy. But truly, they
Yeah.
change until they graduate from college, they're still not happy. And
Right.
or marry, they will be happy. But truly, get married, you're still not happy. And you have children, you're still happy, but not happy, right? They just move the circle from the circle from the circle, but truly, they still go back to the same point. It means they go back to the stuck point again. That we call the
Yeah.
soul. The soul. It means the ego that not
The
real.
ego.
Yes, that not
Yeah.
real. Leave that real and create another circle, another circle, another circle. But truly, the more they create a circle, the more they stuck. They've been trapped in the circle. They cannot get out.
Yeah. And that's most people that I know and most people that I meet. And I would fall into that category as well.
Yes. And then I saw that when I saw people, all people around the world, even when I was young, I saw all people, they chase that circle, but they don't know.
Yeah.
Cannot make them happy. But I see
No.
at that moment, even I was young, I see how people trapped in the circle. They don't know. But for me, I know I have a way to get out of that circle. I know I
Okay.
go back home and liberate that circle. And then from that moment, I started searching for the answer, the way to go home and liberate the stuck
Yeah.
point, make me suffer and make those people around suffer. And until when I was 13 years old, I have a chance to read the Buddha, the Shakyamuni Buddha life. I saw that he had a question, and he saw he stuck, and he saw all people around the world stuck with that circle, and they don't know
Yeah.
how to get out. And he stood up to find out the answer until finally he become a Buddha and liberate the stuck point, right? The one to
Yeah.
make them suffer. And from that moment, it's really connect to me. I say, I have same question. I was searching for the answer. And from that
Yeah.
moment, I step into experience more about the Buddha teaching. And then I asked for ordain to become the Buddha, they become awakened. And until I
Yeah.
become 18 years old, I have a chance to ordain. And from that moment, ordain is give me a chance to go deeper into practice. But truly, after I apply many methods, and I go to many different levels
Yeah.
experience have a lot of awareness, awakened mind, and I can let go a lot of attachment within myself. But truly, I know it's not final. It's not final.
Right.
Yeah, and I know deep inside the one creator circle still always there. It's never completely disappear. And then
And
finally, I stood up and traveled around the world until finally in Thailand, I have a chance to truly facing that one, the one
yeah,
created circle. And then from there, I sat there for 8 days. We truly know who am I and truly know what is the one to create a circle all the time. And then finally, wow, I see that guy. I saw that guy create a circle.
yeah,
What is this? And from that moment, I truly, that guy disappear. And then I go back to the awake world, the world I know when I was born. Right? The world
yeah.
is a open, vast, stay clear. And from there, all the guy create a circle truly completely disappear. And no more. And from there, I live in that world 24/7. And from
And you've
there,
been there since 2001.
yes, and become the awakened world, the universal, and the Buddha world. And from there, its five natures appear: is wisdom, compassion, clarity, great vow, and awake tool. It's a naturally appear. And then from there, I can see all people around the
Yeah.
world, regardless of background, religion, and culture and gender. I saw everybody have capacity to wake up, to go back to awake world and liberate the guy, the one to create a circle, one circle to
Right.
another circle. And then from there, it's a wake up and liberate that. See, from that moment, I'm about to walk into the world to wake people up, to go back to
And
the
do do you find that most people aren't aware that they're chasing those circles?
usually they
They
usually
yeah,
nobody know that they don't know that because they are the guy they are that guy they don't know and they become being trapped in the circle that guy create another circle they don't know they cannot recognize that one
yeah.
nobody
And,
knows
and
that
it and they just keep building on top of it.
yes
So when somebody wants to become awakening, they have to become aware that they're in that circle, right?
one yes that they need to go that first
And that's the part where it's hard for everyone because I, like the term mindfulness was not really a big term in my life until in the last couple years. And even in like social media or watching TV, it really never came up. And to be honest with you, whenever I heard the word mindfulness, I was thinking it was kind of foo-foo, kind of weird, kind of stuff. But it turns out I'm behind the eight ball, and those people were way ahead of me. And for someone to become aware, like I didn't really become aware that there was more to the universe than within the last few years. And when I realized that, like the things I owned stopped meaning so much to me. The friendships I had became so much more valuable. I was more tolerant of people's behaviors if because I could understand that they weren't aware of really who they were. And I find that most people I'm connected to are not connected to themselves. And I want to get deeper connected to myself to hit a point where I can step outside those circles. And so at in 2001, you hit a moment where everything made sense.
yes
Yeah.
you know usually it's the mindfulness just a first step. The mindfulness is mean you start to aware of your breathing in, aware of your thoughts, aware of your emotion, aware of your body. Just help you to start to aware anything happening within yourself. And also it's a help you to can manage yourself. It's okay for
Yeah.
that beginning. But
Right.
truly, if you're not aware, if the moment you are not mindfulness and you become one with a creation, you create
Yeah.
another circle, another skull. Mindfulness and awareness just help you to stop, to look within, to aware, to don't
Yeah.
create a problem, but cannot lead you to the become awakened and
Right.
liberate cycle of birth and death is creation, right? Called the
Yeah.
suffering. But the
Right.
moment when I become awakened, and that moment I become out of me, out of the body, you see, and
Yeah.
liberate all the system, the create the system. You're the one create the system. We've been trapped in the system by that guy to create the system, right? And from there I
Yeah.
become awakened. And from that, the one to create is illusion. It's not real. But before nobody
Right.
know that one is, they think that that one is a real. But truly, when you become awakened, you start to see, oh, they disappear. It's not real, just illusion. And from
Yeah.
that no longer control you. You become awakened. You are free and disturb
And
and
so you had mentioned that I think you said the age of 13 or 18. I wasn't quite sure what you said. You were on a search, looking. And as a child, were you always spiritually aware, or was this something that came to you at some point in your life? Like, I guess my question is, was your childhood, was your family something? Did they bring these beliefs to you, or did you go find them on your own?
I know for my own. When I was born, the moment I know this world is suffering. It's myself,
Yeah.
but still nobody teach me. Nobody tell me anything. I just know it. When the moment I open my eye, I start to recognize the life. I start to see, oh, how humans suffering and how people trapped into the system. I start to saw that. And then from that moment, I still know that I belong to awake world. I know awake world always available around me. It's always
Yeah.
vast, pure, and spaces. But I saw that all people around me being trapped, they don't know. But I know that I need to go back home
Yeah.
in order to liberate because when I took the body, I step into this world. I accept the trap from this system, right? But I need
Yeah.
to fear about this in order to wake up and liberate the system and also help the world. And then from there, I stand up and searching. I stood up and searching for the answer by myself. Nobody tell me.
Yeah. So as a child, and you were having all these feelings, did your family look at you in a different way? Was I'm just curious how you presented to the world, and did people see this in you as a child, that you had this ability to see how the world was and understand the things that were around you on a much deeper level than anyone else? Because I'm going to be 55 this year, and this stuff's just making sense for me. It's just starting to. And you're talking about, as a small child, already having those feelings and those understandings.
Yes, you know when my mom get pregnant of me, she
Hmm.
knew one night she know someone came to her and gave her me to her and asked,
Okay.
"Is a gift like can you take care of this child?" She knew that very clear, and she said
Yeah.
yes. And the moment she gave birth to me, like me, she felt like her life changed and she felt I live
Really.
totally different. I don't live like normal child. When I was born, I didn't connect to the world. I
Yeah.
just live by myself. I just always have question. I always live alone. I didn't connect to people around me. And the way I eat, the way I interact, the way I talk, I always talk about go home. I want to go
Yeah.
home.
Like
I
you've been a visitor since the moment you've gotten here.
Yes, yes. And the parents know right away. They felt that true, I'm different.
Yeah.
And I always say, I want to go home. This is not my home. I want to go
Right.
home. This is not my home. I always say so. And I search for home. I stand up to looking for home. And they do that, but they don't know how to help me go home. You see?
Yeah.
And
There's no map.
no different. Oh, wait, yes. And
Yeah.
from
So
that moment,
as a child, and you're having all these realizations, I'm assuming that you didn't have a lot of childhood friends. Like you were probably very independent and focused on yourself. When your mom understood that you were different and you had this special quality about yourself, did she share the Buddhist beliefs with you, or is that something that you started chasing on your own and eventually made your way to Buddhism?
uh, truly at that moment, she didn't share much with me about Buddhism, but
Okay.
she understood about something different in me.
Yeah.
And she she saw something beyond a human. She felt that in me, but she didn't share much about Buddhism until
Yeah.
when I become 13 years old, and my parents have a chance to brought me to the temple, and
Yeah.
then that moment I have a chance to read the Buddha life. And then from there, I said, "Oh, really connect to me exactly what I'm searching for." And right at that moment, I feel really connected to the Shakyamuni Buddha. And from that moment, I
Wow.
said, "Oh, he found out the answer. I will. I know exactly what is this. I will find out the answer. I will come home.
Yeah.
I will wake the world up." I know that moment. And from that moment, I stood up for the searching. And they also,
That's amazing story.
yeah.
I love the fact that this was all inside you from the very start. And so when you become, it's somewhere in, I guess, 2001, you're on your own. Is there a moment where like a specific moment, and what were you doing at the time where you suddenly felt you found your way home?
Wonderful. You know, on the way until I become the final day, truly a lot of things happening within myself. I
Yeah.
already go through many stage of awaken along the way. A
Yeah.
lot, and along the
Yeah.
way, a lot of things I realized. I realized a lot of things within myself along the way until the almost the final day, 8 day within
Yeah.
the day. From that moment, I truly inside myself, right? And then from that moment, all the attachment about many things happening within myself, for example, the one to create a circle, still there within myself.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
But the circle in different level, very sticky, but it's hard to see. About
Yeah.
already wake up. Why can you go out and help people? Even I
Hmm.
go through a lot of level. I go back to a awakened level. And then the voice come, you already done. Why don't you go out and
Yeah.
help? I know that voice within myself.
Okay.
That voice no longer uh, take me away. I know it. I know what is this. And I keep
Yeah.
dealing with
Your
that, right?
eyes were finally opened, and you saw the things you were looking for.
Yes. Yeah. And then
And
and then I know it's not home because I already go to some level of awakening. But I know
yeah.
it's not home yet. But
Right.
the voice
It-
within myself say, you already home, you already arrived.
yeah.
Why don't you stop and go out and help people? But truly, I know it. I know that voice, and that voice
Right.
no longer fool me. And another moment, like uh, when I said that moment, is a lot of mosquito around me, bites everywhere, and the voice come and say, you are finished. If you keep living, stay here, you will die. They will bite you, and then you will die. You cannot wake people up. You already done. Many voice within myself. It's a arise, but I know it. That is a voice. And I no
Yeah.
longer follow that voice. I keep facing. But no, the more I face, the more I connect back to the universal awake world, and then I keep facing, come back, and then open until finally, boom, like wake up. Wow, I just go back to the world. I know what
Yeah.
I
And
know, right?
like
And
a door that you keep opening and closing,
then
and eventually you just keep it open.
get open, right? Something, boom, and then from there, just go back and live with that. And then from there,
Wow.
all the void, right? That moment is a wow, illusion is a disappear. I know it disappear. And then from there,
Everything changed in a moment.
everything changed. That from that moment, I become awakened. I'm no longer in that world anymore, and I live in awake world. And from that moment,
Yeah.
I can see. From that moment, I can see things far away. I can hear everything. I know everybody. And then from there,
Yeah.
I can see them with these eyes. I don't hear people with this ear. No, I can see something beyond that. And from
It's
that moment,
beyond the five senses that we have.
yes, through that, but with awakened level.
Yeah.
There, five natures appear. It's
Wow.
um, a serene. wisdom appear and see everybody as they are. From there, I can see everybody as they are. Don't see with perception. It's mean the perception and I disappear already, like the mirror
Yeah.
can reflect everything. And
So
from there,
so it's almost like a veil is pulled away, and the people that you meet, like they may present some way to the world, but you see beyond whatever that is.
yes,
And you can have a true assertion of the people that you're talking and interacting with.
yes,
And so and is I'm assuming that's a very special moment for you. But when you get that and you have this sense of obligation to help awaken the rest of the world, like, what are your first steps after that? Like you're having this moment of enlightenment, and it's wonderful. Like, but it does a plan come to your head on how to accomplish this, or do you just like how does it start?
wow, wonderful. It's at that moment is the true love appear. I don't think
Yeah,
just right at that moment is a I saw everyone have the capacity to wake up, to be truly happy and truly free. It's naturally see it. And naturally it's a true love appear.
yeah,
And naturally grave out appear. And awake tool start to appear within myself. And then from there I just step in. Whoever available in front of me, I just
yeah.
talk to them, wake them up. I don't plan anything. It just appear within.
Okay.
Yeah, it become natural.
So
Yeah.
so it's happening on its own.
Yes,
And
it's
and 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 even if like I have this sense of feeling from you, like I can feel what you're talking about. Like I can feel what it is. And like there are times in our lives where we just might meet somebody for just a second and get so much out of it. And I feel like you're that type of person where if somebody just spends a few minutes with you, like they're going to be changed. Like it doesn't take a long time, right?
not
It's
true, not true.
like
Yes.
they're picking up your energy and the things that you're projecting out to the world and how you present, and they're immediately drawn to you. I feel like you're a flame, and you know how insects want to fly to it, like it's an attraction. Like you have this magnetism about you, where if I saw you somewhere, I would feel like I have to go talk to you, even if it's just
Okay.
for a second.
Not true, not true. Because especially for someone they have a question, and they have
Yeah,
a question to go home and liberate right away whenever they met awaken one, awake me, it's right away it's connect. It's
yeah,
easy for me. It's a naturally easy for me to open their wisdom mind and become natural. I see them, I open for them, but they don't know. But truly
yeah,
that naturally conversation, but truly I already awakened their Buddha potential. And I already see who are they. And from there it's easy for me to wake them up.
yeah.
From there it will
And
become open and
and,
fresh.
and does this connection happen with all beings, not just humans? Because I saw a video of you with some monkeys, and I was looking in the background, and these monkeys are doing weird things to other people, but they're coming up to you, and they're very calm, and they're reaching out, and they're grabbing these from you.
Yes.
Does this awakening and this magnetism that you have, like when other types of beings like animals or dogs or cats or whatever, like are they instantly attracted to you as well, or they feel a connection and you might spend a moment with them and they go off on their way, but the way they react to you is different than how they would react to somebody else standing next to you.
Yes, because when they are near awakened one, because in there is just true love
Yeah,
and present awaken, and they feel that they have no fear, and they because of that it's easy for them to come to me, and
yeah,
that's all people they came to me, they have no fear when they are near me. They don't have feeling of judging, and they just understanding love, and they can be themselves in front of me. Therefore
yeah,
everybody easy for them to come to me, and easy for them to bring everything out in front of me, but I have no idea about judging or reacting,
yeah,
and they feel love, they feel understanding, and they know whenever they share, they open, I
yeah,
can open their Buddha potential, and all the suffering will fall apart. They felt that when they near me.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that a lot of people share a lot of stuff with you, because it probably
Yes.
just pours out of them when they start speaking to you. So you have this obligation to awaken the world, and you just start going out, and people are finding their way to you. Do you find that a lot of people who are not awakened or don't realize they're in that circle chasing things, do they find you and then suddenly they have an eye-opening moment where they're like, oh, this is what I've been doing my entire life. This is why I'm miserable. This is why my interactions with my family are terrible. Like, it just the whole thing is amazing to me because I told you I feel this coming off of you. So when you start going out in the world, do you go on like a pilgrimage or a journey or anything, or like where do you go after that moment of enlightenment? Do you go anywhere particular? Or you just go out into the world and people start finding you?
Yes, where it naturally comes to me. I know where to go. Just naturally come. I don't plan. You see, I just go.
Yeah.
And along the way, whoever available is come to me. But I
Wow.
can go everywhere. And wherever I go, everybody feel really connect to me. And then some they have
Yeah.
no idea, but after they meet me, when I start to open something for them, they say, wow, I never know that before. And then I
Yeah.
never do that because of hold on to something make me suffer, or because of that create a circle but I never see. Because I open their wisdom mind, and from that moment they
Yeah.
have a chance to see something hidden inside they never know before. But after they
Right.
met awake, I can show them. They see it. They not just
Yeah.
believe whatever I say. I show them to see the truth within themselves. And from that
Yeah.
moment, the journey starts.
It's interesting because I have this thing that I mention all the time, and you're probably not familiar with it because of your lifestyle. But there was a store that they used to have in like the shopping malls, and it was kind of like novelty stuff, and they would have this digital poster. And the poster is one of these things that if you look at it, it's just pixels. You can't really see what it is. But if you stare at it long enough and you relax your eyes, then you can see the things in the picture. And once you see those things in the picture, you can't unsee them. And now you have a sense of whatever that is. So what you're doing is opening people's eyes to potential. And if someone comes to you and they want to become enlightened and find an awakening, like where do they start? I'm assuming it's a different start for every person, but there has to be some sort of awareness that they need to start.
Yes, whenever they met awakened one right away, the connection between awakened one and them, I start to awaken their wisdom mind, and from that
Yeah.
moment, it's like you said, the eye open, right? A wisdom eye open, and from that moment, they can see things different. Like you
Yeah.
said, when you see the digital, you think, right? They start to see something they never saw before.
Yeah.
And from that moment, like the door open. Even
Right.
later, door closed, but they never forgot that moment. Yeah,
That's what I'm going through right now. That's
yes,
what I
and
was
from that
talking
moment,
about.
that's calling them to come back to me, to ask for help, to open
Yeah.
the door even wider. And then the wisdom mind start to be open. And then all the hidden thing within themselves they never see before, now start to reveal. And it's
Yeah.
wow. And from that moment, never forgot. And then from that,
Behaviors start to make sense of why they behave a certain way, and when they have an understanding of why they behave that way, they can start changing the way they behave.
yes,
And
yes,
and for me, like when I have those moments where I feel like I'm really connected to the universe, I don't know what it is, but I'll run into other people throughout the course of my day and I feel like they're not, and it kind of throws me off a little bit. So when you're meeting people, do you have a good sense of how far along on their path they are?
yes, yes. I know exactly who are they, and I will know how to interact with them, and I
Yeah,
have to open for them because each person have different karma, different level of practice, different level
yeah,
of goal, right? And I see them, I see each person as they are, and from there I can there, so easy for me to interact with them. And then from there,
Yeah.
I know how to treat them until they truly go home and liberate the cycle burden there.
Wow.
It's
So
that.
when you and I understand you have your retreats and you have the the place where you do it, and I watched some of the videos on that as well. Is when somebody becomes awakened, is is it do they tend to get I don't know if this is the right word, but do they get rid of the things in their lives? And I know you talk about attachment, and attachment is like a connection to things, connection to people. Like if somebody's let's say somebody's married and they become awakened, does that interfere with their connection of who they were with, and do they need to break that cycle of who they were with and then move in a different direction? And because I would think that's a hard for a lot of people as well.
Good question. Wow, something like that. Like before you become awakened, right? When
Yeah.
you hold, you still drink, right? You still like this, right? Okay,
Hmm.
you will eat and you drink, right? You still live like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
before. And after you become awakened, you still drink, right? You don't
Yeah.
do not different. But the different that you become awakened, you know this not real. You drop it. After you finish, you drop it.
Yeah.
You put them
It's no
down.
longer something you need.
Yes, but if you need, you take it. But
Yeah.
it's no longer control you. You become free from
Yeah.
you
But
with that
and
attached to everything, right?
yeah.
But
And I
you
guess my question was like let's say a couple's married, and I people don't evolve at the same rate. If one person becomes enlightened and the other person isn't even aware that they need to become awakened, like that's got to be really tough for the person who's making those strides and finding that all these things aren't so as important as they always seem to be. But the person that they are connected to financially, physically, they may have children with them. That person is still that same person they've always been. Like I think it was that a hard moment for people to keep those things connected.
good question. At first, it's a little bit not easy.
Yeah.
Not easy for someone they not fully awakened yet. But if someone they fully awaken, everything will become easy. Even
Okay.
two person like that can help easily, can
Yeah.
awaken this person. This person still go out to financial still okay. It's not mean you don't have financial. Even
Hmm.
you get married, but truly, if someone they become awakened, they no longer control them. They are free from that. They are in a
Yeah.
awakened world. Even everything they still interact with everything, but disturbed by nothing. Còn if you
Right. But so the way they interact with it changes, and the value of certain things have less value and some have more value.
yes, yes, something like that. That's why if someone they one person not become awakened yet, it's not
Yeah.
easy to work to live with someone still stuck in the human system. Truly, really struggle. But if
Right.
truly someone already awakened, easy to live with someone they still stuck in the system. They know
Yeah.
how to help with true love, and then from
Yeah.
there they know how to awaken this one. But this one very happy to move to awaken level.
So they
That's
they travel together if they're doing it the right way. If the awakened one is doing the things you're doing, where you're have
yes,
an obligation to bring others along with you.
yes. But become
Yeah.
natural. Not try. We don't try to awaken another person. No, become
Yeah. You can't
natural. And then,
force it.
yes, and the one near you feel that, and everyone want to go home. Everyone to go back to the true nature. You see, and from there they are liberated from attachment, and they
Yeah.
live with the human world forever. But they still live in the human world, but disturbed by nothing.
That's amazing. And I watched a video where this man, he had walked up and he was standing across from me. I think it was at your retreat. And you were asking him questions about why he was there. And it was interesting to watch because he looked like he didn't know at first. And your questioning, it wasn't like any crazy questions. It was just very basic. I think the first one was like, "Why are you here?" And he started answering on his own, and it was interesting because you weren't really digging in with any questions. You were just kind of keeping him on the path that he was trying to get on. Like you weren't letting him steer off or go in any other direction. He knew he was on a path, but he wasn't quite sure of the direction he was going. And the questions that you were asking him allowed him to get deeper and further along that path. And it was interesting to watch because you literally weren't saying a whole lot, and this guy, he's just coming out of him because he wants to tell you to so you can give him some advice back. And I would feel like this is how your day goes every day. Just random people all over the place want to have
Yes.
some sort of enlightenment. And
Yes.
so like me, for example, like I'm excited to have this conversation. I told you, like when I say I drove past that Buddhist temple for years, like it's maybe once a week for 10 years. Drive past, and it's always on my left side, and my car starts to go for a second, and I'm like, there's nobody there, and I just drive away. So like the universe has connected me with you today, and I'm excited about it. So if someone has all these attachments, like how do they start separating themselves? Like I was looking at the Four Noble Truths, and I think the first one is suffering.
Yes.
Is that it? And the
Yes.
suffering is part of the attachments, right?
Yes. And the
And can you
second one,
elaborate on that a little further?
yes, the first the suffering, but usually nobody know what is suffering. That's when
Yeah,
whenever they came to me, I start to let them see about suffering. Usually, some people believe that suffering become maybe the war or something is a depression. Too badly is a suffering, but they don't know the other reaction, even
yeah,
good or bad. Still, there is suffering. They don't know about that. When they came to me, I start to awaken their Buddha mind. They start to see all the feeling of good feeling and bad feeling still is suffering. We hold on to the
yeah,
feeling of good or bad, still suffering. And then where suffering come from is the cause. The cause is that hold on to something. Hold on to
yeah.
something. Thing is a real. Make us suffer. Right? But the
Right.
one holding something is a cause suffering,
Well,
right? Cause
and it's interesting that you say that the good part is suffering as well, because like, I can think of so many times in my life I've had a wonderful experience, and then I've wanted to have that experience again, and it never comes. And
right.
like the suffering is like not getting that again.
Yes, hold on to that. Hold on to that experience. Still call it
Yeah,
suffering. Even good experience. That nobody know that. Even that's when we hold. Usually, the reason prevent people to go home because they hold on to the good experience or something good.
yeah.
But nobody know that. But that is the core of suffering too. Nobody.
Yes, and I've never ever thought about that in my life. Like, yeah, if you meet a lot of most people will tell you that suffering is bad. I
Yes.
would say hundred out of 100 people will probably say that. But when
Yes.
you put it into perspective like that, where the suffering is with good stuff as well, because you have that longing to have that experience again, and that controls some of your behaviors.
Yes. Yes. That's true. And I
So
like.
so you have to let go of the good and the bad.
Yes, it's like the good experience, like the speck of gold, right? You say for a speck of gold, it's been good, right? Gold is good, but stuck in your eyes, still
Yeah,
make you cannot see things clear, right?
yeah,
That's when we need to wake up. That you have to see speck of gold still block the seeing, right? It's like it's
yeah.
irritates, right? That still cause suffering, but nobody know. Nobody know because they
Right.
think bad experience, good experience better than a bad experience, right? But they don't know hold
Yeah,
on to both side, like duality. Hold on to duality. It's good, bad, high, low, right, wrong. Even
yeah,
hold on to peace. You see, when we hold on to peace, still cause suffering because we don't want not peaceful. You see,
yeah.
that is the cause of suffering too.
So we're suffering at all times. It
Yes,
sounds like
yes, it will suffer as long as we hold on.
24/7, every day of the week.
That's true. But when we wake up, we liberate from the hold on to both sides, right? And then
Yeah.
from there we are free, free from hold on to even good or even bad.
And
Still,
how does someone get past that part where they have all these attachments, good and bad?
oh, good. That's when awaken their Buddha potential. At least they have to awaken one time in order to see it like the light on. Everything appear in front of them. Oh, good, bad. Hold on to that. Cause suffering. Make us suffer, make people around us suffer. They can see one time in their life.
Yeah.
When you wake one, boom, oh. And at that moment, they never forgot. And that
Yeah.
moment, the doubt become the doubt. They start to recognize, oh, hold on to good thing, still cause
Yeah.
up. They start to realize for themselves. And from there, they start to let go,
It's
let
interesting. I quit drinking alcohol about 4.5 years ago. And I did it because I thought I was being a hero because one of my kids had gotten in trouble drinking. It turned out I needed to quit as well. But I hit a moment where I just realized, like, I just don't need this anymore. And it was such an eye-opening thing. I didn't go to any counseling. I didn't do anything. I just had a realization that this was not good for me and it wasn't good for the people around me. And I'll meet people all the time now, like friends of mine will say, "How did you quit drinking?" I'm like, I just did. Like, I just realized it wasn't
yes,
something that I needed. It was an attachment. It was a habit where I would come home
yes,
from work, have a couple drinks, and kind of hang out, and sometimes go a little too far, sometimes not. But when I realized that it had no significant, it didn't own me anymore once I had that realization. Like, the
that
power over me was gone.
yes, that's true. It's being wake up, realization. That is very important because when we realize that core of suffering, it's right away they
Yeah.
just fall apart. We don't need to try, but the most important we need to wake up and realize, hold on to even a good thing, still cause
Yeah.
suffering, and call those people around suffering, and right that moment, all the attachment fall apart. That's when
Yeah.
offering the cause of suffering, wake up, the path to wake up, that start to
It,
realize that
yeah. Like, I,
you
I,
a bad thing.
I had an eye-opening moment when you pointed out the good and the bad were both suffering a few minutes
Wow,
ago. And I'm still trying to
wonderful.
wrap my head around it, to be honest with you. But for me, like you, what you're saying is that you have that moment, and then when you have that moment where you realize this thing or whatever it is, this attachment doesn't control you, and let's say it's one particular thing, and you have that ability to see that the attachment is unimportant and it's holding you back, does that suddenly make seeing all the other attachments easier?
Just depend on each person. For example, if someone already have a question,
Yeah.
about hold on to the good things still cause suffering, but it truly they're not awakened yet and they're not liberate yet. That take time, right? Some
Yeah.
maybe they fall apart one by one. But if someone they already have a question, and then that become a power. You see, because the question
Mm-hmm.
you a power to wake up and liberate. And from the moment you already doubt, but hold on to the good things still cause suffering, and the doubt, like the cooking, right? The power to make you face, to doubt, to question, right? And from the moment
Yeah.
you awaken, and all fall apart, not only one. It's just
It's a,
all fall
yeah.
apart.
It's like do you know what the game Jenga is? Like, where it's like a puzzle game that's kind of stacked and you're pulling pieces out of it as you go. Like,
Yes, yes,
at some point you pull one, like, it stays up for a long time, but at some point you pull the one and the whole tower falls. And
that's
that's what I'm feeling like you're getting rid of all these attachments and you're pulling them from different places, and then you eventually hit a spot where you pull that one and there's no more tower.
yes.
And it's gone. And when somebody has that moment, do you see that change in them immediately? Like, even though if they don't might not see it themselves?
Truly is everything changed. If the moment they become awakened and liberate that part, their life totally changed. Truly the
Yeah.
way. see things different, the way they interact with those people around them different. And all attachment truly is just naturally fall apart and become fresh, open, and true love naturally appear. And the
Yeah.
relationship between those people around them different and
Yeah.
totally different. Yes, like that. And it
It's
gives
it's interesting because while you're saying this to me, like I don't sleep well at night, but I feel like you're probably somebody that sleeps very well and just deep and
that's
just
true. Yes,
totally comfortable and waking up refreshed every day because you don't have the weight of the world upon you.
yes, yes. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know why that just popped into my head, but it did while we were talking. So,
Yes.
so when you're seeing this people losing these attachments, and they're starting to become aware of the things that matter and don't matter, and they're seeing the good and the bad and all that. Like when they start to have these moments of enlightening, like how do they build upon it to get to the next level?
Oh, good. You know, when they start to aware the hold on to something called suffering, and from that moment they start to aware the everything happening within themselves, right? And then
Yeah,
also they start to aware of things around them. Truly, that moment, the power of awareness start to develop. They start to see themselves, they start to see those people around them. And then the vow appear. You know, the vow to wake up, to go
yeah,
home and liberate for themselves and those people around them start to appear. And from there, the power to wake up and liberate attachment start to develop within themselves. And from there, the journey starts. The journey
yeah.
of and liberate starts. It's naturally come. It's not about study. It's not about a try. It's the vow start to appear.
It
You
just
know,
starts happening on its own,
happen all the time.
like a snowball rolling down a hill getting bigger.
Yes, yes, something like that. And then
Wow.
also when they interact with those people around them, and then the awareness starts to develop stronger. And then all
Yeah,
the attachment they start to recognize, oh, attachment cause suffering and give a lot of reaction between ourselves and those people around. They start to recognize, you see it? And then and the doubt start to develop. The doubt,
yeah,
oh, that's true, that hold on to good thing, even good things still cause something. The doubt starts to develop. Awareness starts to develop. And then the power to want to go home starts to develop. And then
yeah,
develop along the way, along the way, along the way, until you move to the final. Boom! And then truly go home. And all the attachment completely liberate. And from that, you see,
yeah,
it's illusion. Truly, they are illusion. It's not real. Just the real appear. And when the real appear, never change. It can
yeah.
see. You see, it's never and can see things
I,
or I can move freely in the world disturbed by nothing.
and for me, like have if I were to have that type of a moment, I mean, I hope I do at some point. But if I were to have that type of moment, I feel like it would be hard to be part of this world after that when you see the things that are. So is there do you have any kind of a weight of the world upon you because you see these things that are out there and you see the insignificance and the importance of certain things? Is it make it harder for you to be in this place? Like it's not your home,
Very
but
good.
being in this place where you see it and eventually you're going to attain your final place, but is it hard to go through the world and, like, let's say, watch the news or something like that when you just see so much hate and suffering and the way people treat each other? Like the world's a nasty place these days. And for somebody who's enlightened, you clearly are spreading joy, like probably everywhere you go. And I would think that anyone who spends some time with you, they're going to take that energy and it's going to go out into the world and they're going to spread it and that's going to spread like wildfire. Like it takes a life of its own. But is it difficult to be part of that when you can only control so much of it? Like it's baby steps, right? It's always baby steps. Like it's little things, and you're meeting people and changing them. and it's not like a giant thing at one time. Is that hard to wrap your head around, or is that just part of it because you're on the journey and there's no direction, you're just going?
Good question. You know, before I become awakened, it's not
Hmm.
easy. It's not easy
Yeah,
for me to interact in this world. It's not. I cannot interact in this world because I know I cannot belong to this world,
yeah,
and therefore I am always searching. Already find a way to go home, apply and searching. That before, but after the moment I become enlightened, become awakened,
yeah.
I'm free. I can step into this world, disturb and nothing bother me. I
Nothing affects you.
I can be in any situation, anything, but nothing affect me. I'm free. I can
Wow,
live in the world, but nothing affect me.
that's
I
amazing.
like that. I'm free. But
Yeah,
before I cannot because I cannot belong to this world. It's not easy for me to be in this world, to connect to this world because I don't feel connected to this world. I can't. But
yeah.
after that, no, after that, I'm free. I
So
and
you went from a stressful life of feeling displaced to finding
yes,
your place, and then realizing that it's the rest of us that are displaced.
yes, and also when I am in a suffering world, but because of me, people make people wake up because
Yeah,
they felt that I'm in a world those people around me suffer, but I'm free, and make them question, oh, why we still stuck? Why someone truly free and disturbed by nothing? Why we don't want to go back there? And they ask me for help. You know,
yeah,
I am there to wake them up, right? To make
right.
them come home. You see?
And I'm guessing that some people have a tougher time waking up, right? Like they know the goal, but the journey is going to be different for every person. And I'm guessing there's no timeline on how or when you wake up. But is it difficult for some people that you run into? Do some people have a tougher time letting go of all these attachments? Because the way you described suffering, the good and the bad, like immediately, I just felt like a ton of things I could just drop doing and not care all of a sudden. And by not caring, I mean they don't have any power over me. Like once I had that, like I feel like I'm going to be changed after this conversation. But when people are coming to you and they're intentionally looking for you, because I would think with the retreats, people are intentionally finding you and they're looking for some sort of a change when they get there. And do you see a difference? I'm sure you see a difference when somebody, let's say you walk in on a Friday and they leave on a Sunday, like they might not be the same person when they walk out the door.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Because awakening have many levels. For
yeah,
example, when I become awakened, is a fully awakened. Therefore, I live
right.
with that 24/7. Therefore, disturb by nothing. I can see people as they are, and I can awaken their level, many different
Yeah,
levels, right? But some people they not fully awakened yet. They have to go through
right.
many level before they reach to the final destination. That's when
And
I see them. I can see them. What level are they? I can help them
yeah,
to reach to final destination.
like you
But
can see where they are on their journey.
yes,
Like if it was a map, you would
yes,
be able to see exactly where they're at and they're trying to get to here. And maybe they're not quite sure how they get there, and you're the
yes,
spiritual guide who's kind of keeping them. You're the spiritual GPS that
yes.
it's you
That
put in
was
the destination, and you're gonna get you there. um
yes.
when you started going out into the world and meeting people and enlightening people and helping them find their way, where does the retreat start finding its way into the mix?
At first, after I become awakened, first
Yeah.
I awakened the monks and the student in the retreat center, right? At that moment, and they
Mhm.
truly, a lot of people become more aware, awakened. They never
Yeah,
see something before. And after that, they felt I'm different from before
yeah,
and after, right? But after that, I travel around the world for a while, wherever I go. I went. People come to me and ask for help, and then I wake them up until I went to back to Houston, and from
Yeah.
that, many people ask for help until finally they asked me about stay in Houston to open retreat center to awaken people, and from that
Yeah.
moment, the universal door meditation starts to open.
So now you're not walking around the world and they're finding you by accident. Now they're intentionally looking for you.
Yes, yes, they are. Wherever I go, they say, oh, they felt a different energy. They felt something beyond the human energy. It's something
Yeah.
clear, very vast, very open, very light, very fresh. And true love, they
Yeah.
felt it's welcome. Welcome them to come. And they're calling, they felt like calling. Even I don't mean to call them, but they
Right.
come. They come to me, and then right there, they ask for help, they listen, and then from there, step by step, I awaken this person, I awaken that person, I open for everyone along the way, and until
Yeah.
I came to Houston.
And can you talk to me about mindfulness for a second?
Yes,
I,
it's
I had a guy on my show a few weeks ago. His name was Mello Carlico, and he had ridden a bicycle 30,000 kilometers around the world. And he was telling me a story about how he would stay at like Catholic or religious places. Like he would stay at monasteries and different places, but he would tell me about a Buddhist temple he stayed in. And he told me that they weren't allowed to talk the entire time he was there unless they were talking about the thing they were doing. And as we were talking about it, he was telling me about how he was cooking dinner. And as he was cooking dinner, he was only allowed to talk about the utensils he was using or the things he was doing. And the question that I had for him at the time, I said, when you eat dinner, are you only allowed to talk about like how the food tastes? And he said yes. And I said, does that make the food so much better because your mindfulness is focused on that one thing? So my curiosity with mindfulness is how do you describe it and how do people implement it into their life to start making some of these changes?
wonderful. You know, usually people in life they always detract to many different things, right? When they are here, but truly are not. They are not here. They are somewhere else, right? They are from the
Yeah.
past. They are from future. They go everywhere, right? They might chasing many things. Even when they are eating, they're truly not eating, right? When they are
Yeah.
doing, they're truly doing. When they are seeding, they're not truly seeding. They never know about what's happening within themselves, right? It's a mindfulness bring everything back to the present. You know, it's
Yeah.
bring back to the present. Whatever they do, they know whatever they do in each moment. For example, when they are breathing in, breathing out, they know they're breathing in, they're breathing out. This is mindfulness. So let you know what's happening within yourself in the present moment.
Yeah.
Remember the present moment when you talk, you know you are talking. When you smile, you know you smile. When you breathing out, you know you're breathing. When you're cooking, you know you are cooking. When you're drinking,
Yeah.
you're drinking. Bring everything to the present moment.
So
Not
you're aware of everything that's going
aware.
on at the moment.
Yes. But when you become awakened, you
Yeah.
are you know everything at the same time. Everything happening
Wow.
around you, you know. You know everything. You're not focused in one. You know everything, but nothing disturbs you. You see, you won't
Yeah.
be
What?
awake. Everything, you know everything far away. You can hear everything far away, but not disturbed by nothing. You see, that's when you become
Yeah.
awake. You
And
see,
and is
happiness,
it hard when you first become awakened to have all these things going on at one time? Is
yes,
that something you have to find another way to sort through it?
no, easy. At that moment, naturally, you know exactly what to do. Not disturbed by nothing. Even you know everything like the mirror, right? Can
Yeah.
reflect everything in front of the mirror, but disturbed by nothing. Like that. You see,
Wow.
the limit is of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the first step to bring
Yeah.
everything to be present and to
And
right now, to present now, here and now. But
is
still
there a
live.
process you teach people to become mindful? Is it different for every person and how they should do it?
Yes, some they need that. Some because they might, you know, they change the past, future, and busy all the time. They call a lot of stress. and a lot of
Yeah.
anxiety, a lot of suffering, right? And they destroy themselves, their mind, their body, right? And mindfulness help them to go back to the present moment. And they start to aware of anything happening inside themselves in the present moment. But
Yeah.
that cannot lead them to become enlightened. That just help
Right.
them to manage their life, to
It
manage to
starts it.
yes, to feel present, but still limited. The mindfulness still
Yeah.
limited, right? But when
Now,
you become
are mindfulness and meditation the same thing?
yes,
Or are they
my
different?
meditation same, but the same in the first level. The first level, like bring their mind and the body together to be in the present moment.
Yeah.
But can that not lead you to become enlightened? That's just the first
Right.
step. In order to become enlightened, to become awakened, you need to move to another level.
And what is the next level after figuring out mindfulness for me? And I'll tell you how I do it. I don't have the ability to sit still. It's really, for whatever reason, it's impossible for me. But I'm a motorcycle rider. I own a Harley. And before our conversation, I went for a 2 hour ride on my motorcycle. And when I go on my rides, I don't have a destination. I just kind of go where the road takes me and I feel like I should go because I know where I'm at. And I can't be distracted by my phone. I have to be fully in the moment because I'm on a motorcycle and I could die. But I hit this moment where all the controls become secondary and my mind becomes connected with whatever's going on and I can think clearly for the first time sometimes in days. So I have those moments of mindfulness, but I don't do it every day. Is there a process for like should you set time aside to be mindful? Is it like should you start your day with a moment? Like what's the best process to really incorporate that into your life before you try to go to that next level?
Uh, because of when you are mindful of all the things happening within yourself, because that moment you have a goal, you
Hmm.
want to be mindful in order to aware of everything happening within yourself in order to move right. But
Yeah.
truly, you don't at that moment you don't talk about the destination, right? And therefore you're aware of everything happening within yourself. That moment
Yeah.
because you already have a goal, right? You have a goal like you need to be mindful in each moment in order to ride the bicycle, right?
Yeah.
That really deep inside you already have the purpose to be mindful,
Right.
right? You see it?
Yeah,
See,
I do.
in daily life we need to have a purpose. Depend on your purpose, right? If your purpose to be mindful is will lead you to be mindful. But
Yeah.
the problem that every day maybe we have many kind of purpose, right? My purpose to do this, my purpose to do that. Therefore, you
Right.
can be mindful all the time, right? You
Yeah,
saw
it's hard.
that's not depend on the purpose. But truly, when you become awakened, it become natural. You don't try to be mindful.
Right.
It's be
You just
natural.
are.
Yeah, just are, right? Just live with this
Wow.
24/7. Even you don't have an idea about I have to be mindful or I have to become awakened or I have to aware of everything. Everything appear in front of you. It becomes
Yeah.
natural.
So the mindful is a level of this, and what would be the next level once you understand how to be mindful? Like, what's the next level that you would go to?
The mindful start to let you understand more about yourself.
Yeah.
You have to understand about how the mind running, how the ego create the problem. When you
Hmm.
become mindful of your mind, your body, your object of mind, and then from there you
Yeah.
start to know more about yourself, more about the one to create problem. You see, and from that moment, the doubt appear, right? It's mean,
Right.
oh, music, what is that guy? What is that guy always create a lot of suffering, always change the past, change the future, always attracted to many different things, always react when something they want or something they don't want. You start to see more about the I within yourself. And
Yeah.
also the mindful help you to see something can witness the eyes. Always finding within. You see, in the
Yeah.
witness, when the witness, have you ever recognized the witness, the one to recognize the voice within yourself? It's a mindful
Yeah.
help you start to see both the clear
Right.
mind and the dirty mind. You see it? That is the
Yes.
benefit of mindfulness to help you
And
to stop.
I saw a video that you shared. I saw it was like I think you were on a news channel, and then I saw a second one where you had these four vases filled with water. One was full of mud. Second one had a little bit less mud. The third one was almost clear, and then the fourth one was clear. And the I don't remember the exact thing that you said about it, but it was what we're talking about right now, right?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, we talk about the first jar, because when people from outside, they are in the first jar, right? Because they full
Yeah.
of emotion. But even is good or bad, they believe they are that. They are the dirty water. It's mean even the good thing in the dirty still is good,
Yeah.
bad, high, right? But they believe they are that. But you see, inside the first jar, still have the clear. They all same is clear water. The clear
Yeah.
water is awareness. It's the witness inside, right? And the
Right.
dirty water, like the reaction, the feeling, the
The
mind,
attachments.
the attachment, right? Cause suffering, right? It's always the way react with many
Yeah.
things happen around, right? You see, in each one have the same is the clear water, but nobody
Yeah.
know. That's why when become awakened, is fully awakened, you go back to the fourth, to join number fourth,
Right.
right?
Because you've removed all the debris that's in the water,
Yes,
which is the clutter of your mind. And
that's true.
it's the attachments, it's the way you think about things, it's the good and the bad.
Yes, yes. But the second joy we call mindfulness. The
Yeah.
mindfulness is the second joy. It's when you start to settle down yourself. And then the dirty water start to settle down. You start to
Yeah.
aware of your clear mind. You start to
Right.
aware everything happening that we call mindfulness. You start to settle down, but
Yeah.
even settle down, but debris still there. You see all
Yeah.
the dirty
You
water
still
still
have
there.
some of that
That's still
clutter,
happening.
but
Therefore,
that
when
clean
you
water's starting to show itself more.
and whenever you interact with those people around, and the dirty water starts to come up again. That's when it's a
Yeah.
mindfulness that just help you to settle down, get the mind and the body to settle down,
Yeah.
and then
It's a
allow
calming.
energy appear, right? But that is
Yeah.
not the final stage yet. That is
No.
the second, and then you keep awaken one will awaken your Buddha potential to fully wake up, to go back to the number four, the chart number four, and all
Yeah.
the just start to liberate. It's a disappear, and then you become awakened. It's become the
Right.
chart four. You
So
see now.
it's a way of filtering your mind.
Yes, and now you see the difference between the mindfulness and awaken. You see, the
Yeah.
mindfulness is like the second jar,
Yeah.
but awaken.
Is the third jar still mindfulness, or how would you describe the third jar?
The third jar still mindfulness, but depend on each person's purpose. If someone they have a goal to become awakened, see the
Yeah.
third jar will move toward to awaken level. But the second jar can go back to the first jar.
Yeah.
But the third jar can move to the fourth not jar.
Right.
It's
And the
open.
third can't go back to the first.
No, no. The third, when you move to the third, you cannot come back to the first. But the second can go back to the first.
Yeah, you can always go one back either direction, but once you're all the way over here, like this one, it's just not happening again.
Yes, yes. But when you are in the third jar, you move to the fourth.
Yeah.
But when you are in the second jar, you can come back to the first jar if you only choose to be mindful. If you don't choose to
Okay.
be open, to liberate
Yeah.
the attachment, the second jar can go back to the first jar. But if you are in
Right.
the jar, it means you already have a question to fully wake up and liberate the stuck point that attached to the cycle birth and death. And
Yeah.
number three to the wisdom number four.
And you've used the term finding your Buddha, I think is how you describe it. What exactly does that mean to you when you say that?
Uh, can you repeat?
Like you've mentioned the term finding your Buddha. Like I did a little research on Buddha. He was an actual person from like 2,000 years ago who he was part of I guess a well-off family, and he realized that like all these attachments weren't important to him. And I did a little research, and and like finding your Buddha is when you say that, do you mean being more like that?
Yes.
That okay, being
Say
more in tune with that.
yes. When you say finding the Buddha, it means you go home. You go back to
Okay.
the fully become Jhana number four. It means you go home and truly wake up and fully wake up and liberate the cycle birth and death. It's not real. You
Yeah.
go back to your real. And it's means you finding your Buddha. It means you go back to your Buddha natures and you go back
Yes.
to your real, right? And from there, no more suffering. And from there,
Wow.
you deserve nothing. That is finding your Buddha.
It's amazing. I feel different after having this conversation. I truly do. Especially the part that really stood out to me was the suffering is good and bad. It never ever occurred to me in my entire life because there are things that I love to do that control me sometimes, and they don't need to. And
Yes.
if I can address those things to start, that gets me further on my path. And for somebody who's just starting to get on their path, what advice would you give them to on how to stay on the path? Like what things should they focus on, or what things should they try to avoid?
Usually when they came to me, easy for me to first I awaken their Buddha potential first. This means wake up. Let
Yeah,
them one time to wake up. It's like, and then from there they experience about what is being awakened. Wake up first, even not fully wake up, but at least they can wake up on time. And then from
yeah,
there they start to see hold on to good or bad, still cause suffering. And at least they
yeah,
start to see that for themselves. And from that moment the journey start to become easy. And they start to because when they have one time to experience about that moment, they never
yeah.
forgot. And then from there the journey starts. And then
It
from there, they
feel
become
it,
aware of anything happening to themselves. They start to recognize about, oh, hold on to good things to cause suffering. And they start
yeah.
to recognize for themselves. And from
It
there,
it
the journey starts.
it feels like once you have that eye-opening moment, the journey starts happening on its own.
Yes, 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 do that.
Which is amazing to me because you're talking about awakening, and for me it's that part of the conversation where you see the door is open for a second and you get to see what's on the other side, right? And then the door shuts and you're like, well, now I know what's on the other side. How do I keep the door open
Got
longer?
it. Got
But
it.
if you're doing all the right things, the door will start to creak open on its own and
Yes,
it'll stay there, and then eventually the door swings wide open fully
yes, that's true.
because of the things that start happening on their own and start snowballing, where you start with this little ball and it rolls down the hill and the ball gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then eventually you
You
find
out.
that enlightenment.
That's
Yes,
true. Yes, yes, got it. That's true. That is
that's
the
awesome.
yes.
Yeah,
When you
I, I
open.
I'm so glad I got to speak with you tonight. And we're like an hour and 20 minutes, and I could talk forever, but I truly feel like somehow I was guided here to have a conversation with you.
Wow.
I did not have any intention with my podcast of making it some sort of a spiritual journey. I had no interest. I wanted to talk to like just crazy stories and all this, and it changed on its own. And I've always known that something was missing. And by missing, I mean like there's more to it. Like the kind of the way you said you presented and felt like as a child, like I'm just starting to feel that way. And I want my door to creak open even more and more. And having this wonderful conversation with you has certainly helped me.
Yes.
And yeah, and so I know you have a book. I know you have a retreat. If you just want to spend a minute like talking about those and where people can find it and how they can meet you in person.
Yes, that's true. We the center, Universal Door Meditation Center, just open to welcome everybody to come, right? And then
Yeah.
truly when they came, step into the center, it's naturally they feel the serene, they feel the energy of the sangha because the whole sangha start to go back to live with awake mind, and then all
Yeah.
the false mind start to fall apart, and then therefore create the atmosphere is naturally become pure, stay and fast, and therefore that when people step into the center, it naturally all the busy mind start to fall apart, and the clear
So
mind.
can somebody just show up there? If I was in Houston, I can just go there?
Yes, yes, you are welcome to come.
That's
Truly,
awesome.
welcome for everyone to come. Yeah, it's the center for everybody, right? And
Right.
truly, when you come, you see, it's even the center is so simple, but truly, you come, you feel it's connect back, it's a calling back to the unborn, calling back to the awakened mind, right? And the clear mind.
Yeah.
And all the busy, all the worry, all the stress, it starts to fall apart. And then you just step in with the open, fresh, and the
Yeah.
easy for you to receive, for everybody to receive the teaching, awaken. And then
Yeah.
they unlock the Sangha. It's so powerful. And from there, it's a step by step to awaken their Buddha mind. And then from there, they will really connect right away.
And
That
does your book cover a lot of this stuff as well?
Yes, and the book, somebody talk, they really want, usually awake one would, didn't have an idea to write a book, right? But because
Yeah.
the book is all about awakening. I wake up
It's
the
another
student,
way to help people.
yes, and the way to help people. And they asked me to, okay, bring the book, help the people to read the book in order to connect more with awakened one and how awakened
Yeah.
one awaken people. And they say, okay, I will do that. And maybe the book will appear soon, one day. Yes, it's
That's
my
amazing.
about the and then they said is a we have the 1 day retreat in one a month
Okay.
from
One a
from
month.
nine till yeah once a month from 9 until five, and then
Okay.
welcome everybody to come.
That's
But a question
amazing.
for
And
you. I have a question.
I yeah,
I have a question for you.
sure.
And when you talk to me, what make you feel connect to me the most?
You know what? It's hard to describe. Like it's not something that's tangible. Like something I can't put my finger on, but I
Mhm.
feel this energy that comes from you, and I have an attraction back to it. And it's the best way I can describe it is like a moth to a flame. And when I saw you on the website where I find guests and stuff, like I don't reach out to anyone. I'm booked for months and months, and I have people reaching out to me every day. Very rarely do I chase somebody to have a conversation with them. And the second I saw you, I'm like, I need to talk to that person. I need to have a conversation because I knew that I was going to learn something from you, and I
Mhm.
did. And the in a selfish way. And I'm sorry that's what it is because my podcast is selfish because I'm getting to learn things and I'm absorbing knowledge from people and I'm learning. And if somebody gets this same reaction from you when they listen to it, that's fantastic. But for me is really where my podcast really takes place. And so I had this attraction to you and you have a way of speaking that makes sense. And it's the best way I can describe it. And so I feel enlightened to a degree, and I would love it if, as I get further along my path of figuring out who and what I am, I would love to have another conversation with you sometime down the road because I truly love this, and this was great for me.
Yes. You know, when Awakened One met you, when I met
Hmm.
you and I interact with you, like by talking with you, I start to open the door for you to step in.
Yes.
You see it? You see, I start to open
Oh
the
yeah.
door. And naturally, you just step in. You step in, and then the questions start to come to you, right? It's
Yeah.
been open the door for you. And then you
Yeah.
just step in, right? And by just open the door, step in, open the door, and step in, right? And that from that
Yes.
moment become more open for you, right? And become
Yeah.
natural, right? The question
Yeah.
you
It feels like it's going to happen on its own now. Like it's just going to take its own life, and
that's
and
true.
it'll take its course and it'll happen.
Yes,
So thank you
yes.
so much. Hang on one
Wow.
more sec. I just want to hit pause and I just want to talk to you for one more sec. Hang on.